It's not, orchid growing isn't about any one thing you do right. It's about all the little things that you do right to make it all work for you. I can't say there's one important thing that makes or breaks anything. It's just all about every little thing adds up to just a little bit healthier of a plant. Good morning YouTube, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be doing some foliar feeding, fertilizing of orchids with some seaweed fertilizer. Now I started doing this spring and I've had fantastic results with it, so I thought I'd share it with you. This is seaweed fertilizer. It's just a liquid. It's actually really cheap. It's 100% organic fertilizer and it just acts as a foliar feed. So what we're going to do today is we're going to mix up a batch here. And you mix it up in something like this, and then we're going to go around and spray some orchids and maybe have some chat while we spray the orchids, and we'll see a few different things while I'm going along. But the seaweed fertilizer, misconception, it does not smell. It's not like a fish fertilizer, so it's not going to stink everything up. You could probably use a seaweed fertilizer in your house in a small quantity without it even affecting too much of anything. It has just a very mild smell to it, very mild. Some things it does say about it. Let's see here, because first off, I'm not an expert on seaweed fertilizer. I have heard from various sources that it is a growth hormone. It has nice amino acids in that help with root growth and root stimulation. So if an orchid isn't rooting, this will actually potentially help it, some people say. And it helps with all existing roots. And what we're going to do is we're just going to spray it on where the roots would be, where the roots are, and where we'd hope to get roots, and a bit of the leaves and the stems. But let's read here. So 100% pure concentrated liquid seaweed fertilizer, entirely soluble, contains trace elements and growth hormones. That's another thing to touch base on here. This isn't fertilizer. It doesn't have big amounts of NPK. This is all going to be micro trace elements and growth hormones, amino acids. It's a non-toxic fertilization that provides better tasting colors in fruits and vegetables. Well, that doesn't really apply here, but it does work well with orchids. I've started out slowly and I've increased my dose and increased my frequency. Even hit the odd carnivorous plant with them. No harm, no foul. They just keep going on. There's so much happening in the greenhouse. I can't say 100% how effective the seaweed fertilizer is, but I can say that it's not doing any harm, so why not? So let me take you down, we'll mix this up together, and then we're going to get some spraying going on. So here's sort of a close-up of what we're going to be doing. There is the fertilizer. Now this brand is neither good nor bad, it's just one I picked up off the shelf at my local garden center. I'm sure any brand you find would work well. This is seaweed fertilizer, so it has a blend of different seaweeds, not just kelp. There is 2 different ones out there. I give it a good shake, because it kind of settles a bit. And then what I have found, I'm going to open this up. This is just my misting bottle. As you can hear, the pressure's getting released in it. And up until now, I always put the fertilizer in first. I think what I'm going to do this time is fill it with water. I'm just grabbing the hose here behind you. We're going to fill it up because when the seaweed fertilizer is in there, it gets all bubbly and then it's hard to sort of top it up. So bear with me here. Bear with me, it's almost there. We're going to fill it to 2 quarts, or about 2 liters. There we go, so that's full. And now I use just the cap as a measure. The cap is a 5 ml cap. And we are going to put in 2 capfuls. It's kind of a browny liquid. Let me adjust that a little better here. And then now that the liquid is in there, I'll give it a shake once the lid's back on and repressurize it up. Put that back on. Now, it usually takes me about 2 full spray bottles to do the whole greenhouse, so I'm just going to do 1 with you here. So I'm doing that Oncidium there. There's the vanilla back there. I'm going to give it a bit of a spray. A few other ones. There is a spider orchid that's going to get it. Now I'm aiming for the base of the plants, and we're not trying to soak completely through. We're just trying to get sort of a fuller feed. So we're just trying to get it on the surface area where the roots would be. You want to do this in the mornings or in the evenings when it's still cool. You don't want it to evaporate off too fast. And this stuff seems very, very safe. I'm working way up high now with it. There's a Miltonium getting a bunch of flowers in the way. I'm going to do a greenhouse update for you on next weekend. I'm not sure if I'll do a whole update, an orchid update, or a carnivorous plant update. What update did you guys want to see most? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to go towards that. I'm spraying the air plants with this foliar feed. Cattleyas. The mounted ones, it does them really good because there's not much nutrients in the actual piece of wood, so it's hard to fertilize mounted ones. But as you can see, I'm aiming for sort of the bottom of the plants where the roots would be growing. And what I'll probably do is I'll continue to do this just with ones on our level here, so I'm not dragging up on ladders and stuff to get the Cattleyas. There's been a few changes to the greenhouse this week. Been working hard on a few different projects in here. So we have the lowland chamber has moved. We now have an ultra highland chamber as well. So I'm going to be doing some updates on that. How to grow super cold loving plants in a warm environment. Just pumping it there. So this is a Vanda here. It's coming out in spike. You can see the spike out there. So I'm going to give it a bit of a spray. And again, we're not looking to totally water the plant. We're just looking to foliar feed it a bit. Let's go over this way and do some cooler growing ones. I am going to hit the Draculas with it as well. And again, I try not to hit the leaves too much, but if it happens, it happens. A lot of times it can't be helped. The Stanhopias here will really enjoy it. They like a rich organic food anyways, so we'll hit those. The Gongoria. Look at this cute little fowl here. I'm going to give it some seaweed fertilizer as well. What else do we have that I can get it? Here's a Restripia. It's going to get a little bit too. A few Masdevallias in bloom. You know, normally when I can focus a little more and have all my hands free, everything would sort of get it. I would go down the shelf and make sure I hit everything, but in this case we'll just hit a select few. Now I'm even trying an experiment with growing some sphagnum moss, some live stuff. So I'm going to do a corner of that and see what happens. It's very safe stuff. Here's another one I'm going to do. What else do we got? Here is a Hoya. It's my only Hoya. Let's give it a bit of a foliar feed too. And a Chinese Cymbidium back there. I'm going to give it some seaweed. Give it a shake up again. And so far, I don't smell anything. It's very safe. It's non-smelly. What else do we got? I'm going to pump it up here again. Hold on. Got to put it on the ground and use one hand while I hold you. Kind of holding the tripod as we go, but it keeps it a little steadier. There's another one that I think it really does the mounted ones well. The Bulbophyllum here. We'll give that a good spray. Down there. Neophanita, it's going to get a foliar feed as well. This is a cool orchid. I'll show you this orchid now because it may not be here for a greenhouse update. Look at this cool little flower we have on this one. It's super cute. Let me see if I can focus. I don't have enough hands to focus and it's not auto-focusing. Come on, there we go. Look at that little flower. Super, super cute. I'm going to give you the tag here for this. That is the orchid. It's the first time it's bloomed for me. I got it off a friend. There's a Bulbophyllum. Let me get this refocused again now. Come on, that didn't focus very well. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Bulbophyllum. You know, I'm even going to do the bromeliads a little. See what happens there. I know I have tried it on the air plants and it's just fine for them. Do this Dendrobium here, give it a bit. Beautiful Dendrobium out in bloom. And you go up and down, all the air plants. So yeah, there's been a few things that have moved around and changed positions this week. Working hard in here. It's been nice weather, really hot still, really sunny. Not quite heat wave, but nice and hot. Get some Masdevallias. I'm aiming for the roots, although it's hard to tell. And what else do we have that could get it? Ah, yes. Let's have a look up top here. My phals are up on the warm, shady side, way up high, so I'll get some of their roots and some of their bases. Hit them. I don't know if you can see if it's blocked with leaves there. Hitting that black pot at the back. And going around. Get some more phals. I'm, as I say, focusing on the roots, so I really want to hit them without hitting anything else. And there we go. So that is Seaweed Foliar fertilization of your orchids. Interesting. I do think I've had some great root growth this spring and summer since I've been using the formula. I can't tell again if it's totally just from the orchids or from the fertilizer. There's been so many changes this year in the greenhouse that it's really hard to tell if it has just been the one thing. There's increased light in here, there's increased humidity in here, and it's tough to tell. But you know what? It's not, orchid growing isn't about any one thing you do right. It's about all the little things that you do right to make it all work for you. I can't say there's one important thing that makes or breaks anything. It's just all about every little thing adds up to just a little bit healthier of a plant. So if I can get some better roots on these guys and slightly better growth, then happy plants. I mean, happy greenhouse, right? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know if you guys use seaweed to foliar feed anything at all. Leave your comments in the boxes below. Let me know how it goes for you and what your thoughts are on seaweed fertilization. And until next time, we will see you later.